She didn't leave because you were boring. She didn't leave because your car wasn't new, or because you forgot the name of her favorite candle that one October night. It wasn't about shorter texts, missed emojis, or any of the small things you've been blaming yourself for. She left because part of her was already halfway gone before you ever met. And the hardest part? That had nothing to do with you. But no one tells you that after a breakup. Instead, you start hunting for the moment it went wrong. You rewind the tape. Every conversation, every silence, every laugh that now feels like a lie. You look for the flaw, your flaw. But here's the truth no one says aloud. You weren't rejected. You were simply caught in the path of someone who hadn't made peace with their own heart. And when someone's still at war with themselves, love feels like an intrusion. Your calm presence? It wasn't boring. It was foreign. And for someone used to chaos, safety can feel like a trap. She wasn't running from you. She was running from the stillness she wasn't ready to sit with. And that was never your fault. The illusion of rejection. After she leaves, your mind doesn't just ache, it accuses. It whispers, "What did I miss?" So you search. You rewind conversations, overanalyze her tone, the way she hugged you last, the smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. And slowly, that searching turns inward. You start to believe her leaving means you weren't enough. That something inside you, something invisible, must have cracked, and she finally saw it. Because that's what we're taught, right? That love stays if we're worthy. That if someone leaves, it's because we failed. But Stoicism offers a different lens. It reminds us that not all endings are indictments. Sometimes we were just in the wrong story. A story she was writing long before you appeared in it. Her departure wasn't proof of your lack. It was a reflection of what she couldn't carry anymore, what she couldn't face. You didn't fall short. You just stopped being a place to hide. And that shift? It wasn't your doing. It was her reckoning. The story wasn't about your flaw. It was about her threshold. When peace feels like a threat, she once told you that you made her feel safe. You took it as a compliment. Most would. Safety feels like love until it doesn't. Because for someone raised in emotional chaos, real peace can feel unnatural. When all she's known is high highs and sharp crashes, calm becomes suspicious. Love without pain? That feels fake. She was used to tension, to love that came with conflict, confusion, apologies. So when you showed up with presence instead of performance, it felt wrong. Not because you were wrong, but because she didn't know what to do with ease. That's the paradox. When someone's heart has adapted to storms, stillness isn't soothing, it's unsettling. You didn't hurt her. And that, ironically, scared her more. Because if love isn't chaotic, then it asks for something she's never been taught: trust. And trust? That's more terrifying than heartbreak when your past is full of bruises disguised as passion. She didn't leave because you failed her. She left because she couldn't believe it was real. Peace wasn't what she was ready for. It was what she feared the most. Stoic clarity: you are not her past. Stoicism teaches us to know what's ours to carry and what never was. You are not responsible for the wounds she never named. You are not the fix for what someone else broke. You are not her therapist, her savior, or the stand-in for the man who failed her years ago. You were you, present, steady, real. But sometimes, being real is exactly what someone can't handle, because it forces them to confront what they've buried. You held up a mirror, and what she saw scared her. Your peace reminded her of what she didn't have. Your gentleness clashed with the armor she wasn't ready to take off. Your presence demanded authenticity, and she wasn't ready to offer it. So she ran, not because you chased, but because she couldn't stand still long enough to meet you where you already were. That wasn't your failure. That was her unfinished war. And the more grounded you were, the more unstable she felt. Because when someone isn't ready to be seen, they'll do anything to disappear, even from love. The painful aftermath and false guilt. After she's gone, you're left in the quiet. The kind of silence that hums with questions, regrets, unsent messages. You stare at your phone, fingers hovering, rewriting words you'll never deliver. Somewhere deep inside, you still think it was you. That's the heaviest part, the guilt that doesn't belong to you. You weren't perfect, but you were real, present, curious, kind. And that's what makes the ache so confusing. Because she didn't leave when things were bad, she left when they were stable. When you thought you'd finally arrived in something lasting. So your mind turns inward. What did I do wrong? What did I miss? But that guilt is a shadow of her fear, not your failure. She couldn't receive what she claimed to want. And that's not on you. It never was. What hurts isn't just that she left, it's that you were fully there when she did. That you gave without asking. That you stayed soft in a moment the world told you to harden. But brother, your depth didn't scare her because it was broken. It scared her because it asked her to meet you there. And she wasn't ready. Healing through stoicism and presence. There's a kind of heartbreak that doesn't come with shouting or betrayal, just a door quietly closing behind someone you were still reaching for. That's when stoicism becomes more than philosophy. It becomes survival. Stoicism teaches us to remain centered, to love without losing ourselves, to offer without expectation, to stay still even when someone else is spinning. You don't chase what needs to flee. You don't become a storm to match her chaos. You observe. You accept. You return to yourself. Not bitter, not broken, but clear. Because some people aren't villains. They're just unready. And some love stories don't fail. They simply arrive too soon for one of you. Your stillness wasn't the problem. It was the mirror she couldn't face. And that's okay. Let her go. Not with anger, but with grace. Because your healing doesn't come from closure. It comes from presence, from knowing who you are, even after she forgot. Letting go with power and preparing for someone ready. Let her walk. Not in bitterness, but in truth. You are not meant to shrink just to keep her comfortable. You are not built to bleed just to prove you feel. And most of all, you were not designed to become chaos just to feel familiar. Her leaving wasn't your failure. It was her fear. And you? You did the rarest thing a man can do. You stayed soft in a world that begged you to turn cold. You didn't perform. You didn't chase. You showed up fully. That's not weakness. That's power. So now, let yourself mourn. Let the silence sting. Say her name one last time, and then release it. Close the chapter. Not with resentment, but with reverence. Because you showed her a version of love she may never see again. And when the right woman comes, the one who's done dancing with chaos, she won't flinch at your presence. She crave it. She won't call your calm boring. She'll see it as a shelter. She'll lean into your eyes instead of running from them. Can she say, I've known storms, but with you, I finally feel quiet. That's when you'll understand. She left because she wasn't ready. The next one stays because you are. If you found peace in these words, don't forget to like and subscribe to Fragments of Stoicism. Each week, we share not just philosophy, but the presence to carry it through life and through love.